Hey, good morning, good morning. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, SportsRap D, here. It's Monday, March the 29th. We are almost through March. We are heading into April. The weather's starting to change a little bit, so just be prepared. It's a little windy out today, but it should warm up a little bit later on down the line. So as you know, if you saw the post yesterday, and I know you saw it because you follow, like I know you follow, no live in studio show today, but I'm going to give you just a little bit today, just to keep you abreast of what's going on in Philly sports right now, currently. So the big word for today, or the key word for today, is trade. As you know, last week, Thursday, was the NBA trade deadline. Last Thursday at 3 p.m. The Sixers did make a move very, very close to the deadline. Just the details on that move, there was a 3-team deal between Philadelphia, Oklahoma City, and the New York Knicks. Okay. The details of that particular trade: Philadelphia 76ers get not Grant Hill, but George Hill and Iggy Brasdikis from the New York Knicks, and George Hill coming from OKC. In return, the Sixers send Tony Bradley and second-round picks in 2025 and 2026 to Oklahoma City. The Knicks get Terrence Ferguson and Vincent Poirier and a 2021 second-round pick from Philly. And in that deal, the Knicks send Austin Rivers to Oklahoma City, and I heard some chatter that he may be available as of like yesterday. I heard that, so not too sure about that. So we'll have to keep you updated on that. Now, a lot of people are, I guess, in a way, if you will, or a little disturbed about the deal. They're saying, oh, we traded away Tony Bradley, our big, and we traded away Vincent Poirier. Well, one, in reality, if you think about the entire Sixers situation right now, Tony Bradley was playing because of the injury to Joel Embiid, who should be back soon. Still have Dwight Howard, okay? Vincent Poirier was barely playing at all. The second-round picks, we had enough of them that we could use them to get rid of them and use them as trade capital, which we did. I like the George Hill, and a lot of people are saying that he's hurt, and what is he going to do, and this and that, and they should have did something else. Now we traded away all of our bigs. Well, in comes the buyout market. Buyout market is still available, so the Sixers can find a big there, okay? And I think that's what they'll be looking to do. As far as George Hill, a point guard that can score, that was needed. I can just think back to maybe a range of numbers somewhere between 3 and 4 to 5 games where the traditional point guard would have helped us in those games that we could have won. And some of those games, well, most of those games we lost, but we could have won some of those games if we had the traditional point guard to help down the stretch in some of those games. It's no knock to Ben Simmons, but I keep telling people, Ben Simmons is not a point guard. Ben Simmons is playing point guard, okay? It's very difficult to go into the NBA and play point guard when you've never played point guard before. And if people expect instant success, that's not the case. This is why people say Ben should be shooting the 3 and this, that, and the third. That's not what he does. Okay, if you go back and you look at his college career, that one season he was at LSU, he was a transitional player. And when I say that, I mean he had the ability and the skill set to get the rebound and run in transition. He played with point guards on that team, which is something that the Sixers needed. They understood that, so they went out and got what they could get. They were in on Kyle Lowry, but the price tag for that was way too high for their liking, so they moved on, and they got George Hill. I think the trade is going to be a good trade. I think it's going to work out for us. Like I said, George Hill is a point guard that can score, and he can run the show with Ben on the court as well late in games. I saw some comments yesterday where people are saying, well, Shake can do this and Shake's not a point guard. The difference between George Hill and Shake Milton in my eyes is Shake Milton is a guard that can score. A guard that can score. And for certain instances, run the show, play a little bit of point guard, not a lot. On the other hand, George Hill is a point guard that can score. If you don't understand, you need to brush up on your basketball IQ. So I like the trade. And again, I think that the Sixers will look to pick up a big man in the buyout market, which will help them along the way. And then, like I said, Joel will come back, and it's looking like they're not going to rush him back. So when he comes back, I'm guessing that he'll be 100% healthy and be ready to go and pick up right where he left off. And as we know, and as we have seen so far this year, he's playing out of his mind, and there's really no one that can match what he does at his position with his skill set and the way that he's come in shape this season. So Sixers is looking pretty good. I still like it. The Nets made some moves. Blake Griffin, LaMarcus Aldridge. Still, as I've been saying, they don't scare me. We're still in first place. We've been in first place. They picked up KD in the offseason. They picked up a trade for James Harden. And they're still chasing, hence the move to pick up LaMarcus Aldridge and Blake Griffin. So we'll see what happens down the stretch and when we get to the playoffs. So again, Sixers, I think, are in a good place once Joel Embiid comes back, once George Hill joins the squad and gets acquainted with the group. And lastly, I just have to give praise to Danny Green. And a lot of people were thinking that Danny Green should have been traded for whoever, whatever. If you look at his stats the last couple games, he's been playing pretty good for us, doing the things that we need him to do. So I'm actually glad that he was not traded. So that's just Sixers take, or my Sixers take on the trade that happened on the deadline day of Thursday of last week. Moving on, we talk some Eagles. The Eagles made a trade as well. There was also 3 teams involved there. It was the Eagles, the Dolphins, and the 49ers. The Eagles made a trade back in the draft from number 6 to get the number 12 pick from the Dolphins, who also traded the number 3 pick to the 49ers. So the Eagles have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They have 12 picks in this upcoming draft in April. Next month starts, and they have 12 picks now. But what they did was they created some draft capital where they could potentially have 3 first-round picks in next year's draft. So to me, it looks like they are going to try to get some pieces this year where they need offensive line, linebackers, maybe some more in the secondary, maybe some wideouts, which they desperately need. And this is why I don't really understand why they moved out of the 6th spot to go down to 12. But apparently they see, or they feel like something is there that they can get at 12 for sure, as opposed to being at 6 and with a hit or miss. But as we know, all draft picks are a hit or miss anyway. But again, the Eagles created this draft capital, like I said, which will give them possibly 3 picks in the first round of next year's draft. And to me, that just means that they are going to pretty much take this year as a stepping stone to see what they have in Jalen Hurts for a full season. They've signed Joe Flacco as a backup, a veteran. A lot of people were confused about that. But I think, like I said, I think their issue is gaining that draft capital and having that salary cap space next year. So this year, like I said, it's going to be like a stepping stone and evaluation year to see how they can move on and progress next season. And lastly, on the Eagles, I was always one who said that Howie is good with crunching the numbers. As we saw, he created a little bit of space with the restructuring of some current contracts that were on the roster. I also have said that I wish that he would stay away from the draft. His drafting has been horrendous the past several years. It's been bad. So I'm hoping that the new coaching staff has some thoughts and some ideas of where they want to go and can stand firm with their decisions or their thoughts and kind of keep Howie out of it, just have him crunch the numbers. But we'll see. And like a lot of us mentioned when we dealt with the Carson Wentz trade, I, for one, said that there was enough blame to go all the way across the board from coaching staff, individual players, general managers, and upper management as well. A lot of people think that Howie should have been fired. I kind of think that he should have been let go as well because, like I said, you see his track record, the draft picks that he has made did not pan out to be really good at all. They were okay at best. So we'll see what happens with the Eagles in the upcoming draft next month. Like I said, they've got 12 picks. So just a rundown of the picks that the Eagles have before I close out. In the first round, they made that trade from number 6. They now have the number 12 pick in the first round. In the second round, they had the number 37 overall. The third round, they have 2 picks, their own pick, the number 70 overall, and the number 84 pick, which they got from the Colts. They also got the number 123rd pick from the Dolphins in the 4th round. In the 5th round, they have their own pick, number 150. 3 picks in the 6th round, their own at number 189. And then they picked back-to-back, 224 and 225, which were compensatory picks. And in the 7th round, also 2 picks, their own number 234, and they got number 240 from the 49ers. So that being said, it's your boy signing out, like I said, just to catch you up on the trades that occurred stemming back to Thursday and Friday and the news from over the weekend. Scores will get posted up a little bit later today since I'm not live in studio. And you know where to find me. Sports Rap Radio Show. Sports Rap Podcast is the group page on Facebook at SportsRap_D on Twitter and Instagram. The website, sportsrapradio.com. You can catch the podcast on iHeart, Google, Spotify, and most of your podcast outlets. And finally, where this video will also go, YouTube, Sports Rap TV. When you get over there to Sports Rap TV, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Check out some other videos. Make sure you like the videos and let me know how I'm doing. Talk to you all on social media, folks. See you next week, live in studio. As I always say, enjoy the weather today. It's a little windy, but it's nice out. Be great on purpose. It's your boy. Talk to you soon.